Alright guys, we're back. Spiral Master here with my partner John F. Doe. Last time we had 16,000 to stats on agility and intelligence with our human tier 2 in Masin RPG version 1.9.3e. We're going to continue on stat farming until we get to 25,000. I need 9,000 to agility and 9,000 to intelligence before I will be complete. The last thing you saw, John F. Doe got me all the way up to the level 900 zone stat point increases as well as the items. So I'm pretty far ahead of where I would be if I was trying to do this by myself. Excuse me, but all having an extra person does is decreases the amount of time it takes you to do all the things that I have to do anyway. So at the moment, John F. Doe, he's got his character in here. Again, really high level, can do anything he wants to, anywhere. And what he's going to do is he's going to run around in probably the 900 zone. Let's see, where is he at? Yeah. Because that's the only zone that really matters at the moment for me, because it can give me the most stats. If he kills this person, which he just killed, that's each one of those crystals is 75, and I believe he drops up to 6 every time you kill him. And then I can sit around in this 700 zone because I can most likely kill the boss in here. Looks like I can run through the regular units pretty easily, and that's all I really want to do. Is gaining a level is going to give me 12 stats, or it's going to give me 6 stats, sorry, because level 1000 is where you start getting more stats than 6, and I'm almost there. And plus, in the zone where John F. Doe's in, those guys are pretty difficult to kill. If you look, they've got, it looks like 2 million hit points, whereas these guys only have 1.2 million. These guys are level 145s. The other ones are 188, so they would give me quite a bit more experience, but they're going to take twice as long to kill, and they'll actually be able to hurt me. So you got to count into your leveling and your stat farming how many times you're going to die in there, and how long it takes you to walk back into that zone. Whereas if I just stayed in this zone and killed these little guys until I hit level 1000 or even 1200 or so, then it would probably be faster than going in there and trying to do that way into the 900 zone. I probably can't kill him in one full life, so I would suggest, since I don't need my spells to kill the little guys in here, just run in, use your spell on him, run out, kill the other guys for a little bit until your spell gets back, and then go back in and use it on him again. Yes, it is a little bit boring and monotonous to do it that way, but it's, in my opinion, probably the most effective way of stat farming, and if you're doing it by yourself. If, like I said, if you've got an extra player who's a lot higher level, then he can run through. All I would suggest he does is he runs through to all the bosses and kills those. Yes, it gets monotonous and boring for him as well, because he can probably one-shot anything with his current gear. He's got his class weapon. He's got the highest level, not the highest level, but close to the highest level flag, as well as, yeah, he's got Abel's Pain, which, if you recall from my last tutorial, you saw John F. Doe try and kill Abel, and he couldn't. He actually loaded a quite a bit lower geared character than he loaded in this time, but that's the highest level flag. It's tier 4. Tier 4 is the highest level flag you can get until you kill Mephisto, who is the last boss in the game, in which case you will then be able to upgrade all of your stuff one more time. But John F. Doe is one character below the highest, so he hasn't killed Mephisto yet. We haven't got enough characters in a game that are all high enough tier to even try and take on Mephisto to do it yet. But so that's where he's at. It only took him 4 hits to kill that boss, and he only criticaled once. So that'll give you kind of an idea of how quickly he can do all this low level stuff. But if you have a character that can level you through like that, you're pretty lucky, and makes all this stat farming a lot easier than doing it if you were doing this on your first time. So if you are, doing this for your first time, I would suggest leveling up a one of the regular classes, like an angel, and then you get one of the 7 deadly sins and upgrade them that way, instead of trying to stat farm with a low tier guy like the human, angel, or the devil. It just takes a lot longer. What you could do is you could level up one of those classes to tier 3, which is relatively easy comparatively speaking, and then you can use that character to level yourself up later on if you've got 2 computers. If you don't have 2 computers and you're playing online, then just try and jump in as many games as you can with higher level characters and ninja stat farm all you can. Now, if somebody's leveling you, I don't suggest ninja stat farming. If they're allowing you to stat farm, then they're very nice. Typically, you'll run into people who are also trying to stat farm, but they're level 2,000 like John F. Doe is, and they're just running through killing bosses because it's the fastest way for them to stat farm, because the bosses that they're trying to kill are 10 to 20 times stronger than the ones that we're fighting in here. If that is the case, I would suggest doing exactly what they're doing, but for you, that would be, instead of going to the 5, 7, and 900 zones, you go back 1 zone and just transition between each boss. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4 bosses that you could potentially kill one at a time, and stat farm just like they're doing in this zone, but at a lower rate. Like I said, if you can't kill these bosses in here, that's what you're going to want to do until you can kill the bosses in here, and then you can start stat farming that way instead of trying to just level gain. The more bosses you can kill, the faster you're going to gain stats, especially for the hidden classes, which require, I think it's 50, 80, and 120,000 stats before you can do their tier 3. Once you get to tier 3, for the hidden classes, things get a little bit easier because your spells are a lot stronger than the tier 3 other classes. So you can actually solo take out some of the bigger bosses, like this one right here. Whereas if you were one of the other classes, you would have to hit tier 4 before you could solo them, as a hidden class does at tier 3. But that's enough talk for right now. I need a total of 18,000 stats. Every time I gain a level, though, I'm getting 3 stats. So if I gained 300 levels, that's going to take 900 off there. It's going to take a 10th off of the total number of stats that I have to farm. So keep in mind that you are gaining stats every time you gain a level. So be aware of that whenever you're trying to see how many levels you'd have to gain and how many stat points you're going to have to farm. But right now, I need 18,000. I've got 1,500 plus another 300 in gold that I could spend. And as soon as I get to close to that mark, I'll go ahead and start talking again. But until then, it's just going to be continuous stat farming. Pretty boring stuff, but in order to upgrade, that's what you got to do. I'll go ahead and fast motion through until I get to close to my 18,000 mark, and then I'll talk to you everybody at that point. All right, well, I'll see you guys then. No, it doesn't matter. You can just press escape and put it in your, because as soon as you go in, it uses the ticket. All right, everybody, I'm back. I just made it to the 25,000 mark on my agility, 25,000 intelligence here. John F. Doe, before I go ahead and try and do my transform, since I've got somebody to help me out, what John F. Doe is going to do is he's going to buy a ticket right here where it says entry ticket to Gold Mountain. If you look, there's no way I can do it. It costs, well, I could do it, but it's $10,000. And he's going to go inside Greed's Mountain right here. And if you notice on my screen, it says 7 deadly sins, Greed's Gold Mountain, equip requirement is 50k stats. Well, because of my character class, I have to have 50,000 stats in order to tier 2. So what he's going to do is he's going to go inside, and he's going to kill this guy for me. And what's going to happen is it's going to drop a box. John F. Doe is going to pick that box up, suicide, bring it to me, and he's going to click on the box, and that's going to drop the item on the ground, and it won't be tied to him because of the way that that item works. It does cost a little bit of money to do, the money that I don't have, but John F. Doe probably has about $1 million right now. So we ping where you're at, John F. Doe. Really quick, I forgot where Greed is. There he is. So he's going to kill Greed over here, and that's what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to upgrade my gloves from where they are now. And if you notice, he killed Greed relatively quickly, and it dropped a Greed's box. So all John F. Doe has to do is grab that. He can put that inside his inventory. And yeah, it says that requires 200k gold. Obviously, I don't have 200,000 gold to throw around, but John F. Doe does. So what he's going to do is he's going to suicide and jump back to where we are over here. And he's going to drop that on the ground for me so I can take it and transform my gloves before I try and take on tiering up. And I'll show you what tiering up has here in just a second as soon as we get there. You'll have to pick it up and click it. I don't have $200,000 to do it with. Alright, so it dropped a Mammon Spirit there, and I should be able to do a dash create, and if you notice, that drastically increased the number of stats. Plus, it says skill gold bath. Each time I attack, it generates 10 gold. So now I'm going to ask John F. Doe to come with me and join me in this level 1 zone. And this is how you're going to tier up as a human. So I've got my 50,000 stats, and I've got all the items that I want to do it with, which getting that item bonus of Greed's magical power is very, very helpful in trying to kill this guy. So I would say right here is good. Nobody move, because if John F. Doe kills this guy, it won't work. What you have to do is, as the human, you're going to go up and you're going to kill this guy. As soon as you kill him, if you meet the required stats, it's going to teleport you into a completely different room. So what I'm going to say, and I don't know if this part will work, but I'm going to hope that it does. If John F. Doe will buff me with all of his buffs that he can do, then I'm going to run in there, kill the guy, and hopefully it'll last throughout the whole fight. And maybe it'll make the fight a little bit easier. Alright, so that's what I thought. It's going to drop all my stats down, and the only thing I can do now is run around and pray that I can still kill him. So whenever you're in here, you have several new abilities that are going to help you throughout your journey in here. If you try and fight him, you're going to lose, I promise, even if you have an astronomically large number of stats. What I would suggest doing is just running around, because he does a lot more damage than you do. Every time your spells get up, you can use it. Now, if you had an extra item slot, it would be a little bit different, but you don't, I promise. whenever you jump in here, it's going to automatically reduce your stats to 5,000 to each. It does give you a very large number of hit points. If you look, I've got 7 million hit points right now. But that really doesn't help me kill him because he does, let's see, he does 250,000. So if I just started to fight him here, it's not going to do anything. If you notice, I'm barely doing any damage to him, whereas he's got a critical strike, and I'm left with having to run around like a little chicken. But that is how you're going to tier up with this guy. This thing, the damage deals 50% of his hit points. That's as good as you're going to get for amount of damage. Everything else is going to come from you running around, kiting, and using your spell. And so that's how you're going to upgrade. I'll go ahead and fast forward through this part. If I could have Jonathan Doe pause the game for me really quick so I don't die trying to do this. I'll talk to you guys after I finish killing him, and we'll go from there. Alright, so if you notice, I just finished killing him. Now, what I don't suggest you do is clicking the save button as soon as you do that. Sometimes the game will freak out and it will drop every single one of your items on the ground until you've died once. So be very careful doing it that way. Since I killed him and I had over 50,000 stats at the point that I transformed into my new character, then I didn't have to worry about leaving the greed's gloves behind. But keep in mind, you are also level 1, so you'll have to start all the way back over from the start. But you just ranked up. If you notice, you're also gaining a fairly large number of stats per level. You're now gaining 15 strength, 20 agility, and 15 intelligence per level. Whereas the previous, you were only gaining 3, 3, and 3. It does, I believe, it takes you a little bit longer to level up. Your XP gain is a little lower, but you have now reached your Tier 3 character. In order to reach Tier 4 with the hidden character, it's the same item requirements as a normal character. You have to have all of this stuff from Paimon, who exists here, or sorry, yeah, it's Paimon. And you have to have everything up to his level, which he is the last boss out of this set here. Belial is the second to last, and then after you get all of Belial's items, you can then go here. But that's all you had to do to get to your Tier 3 using the human character. He's very strong. He does a lot of things that, I mean, as you can tell, I do intelligence times 2 plus agility times 2 whenever I attack. And everything primarily is based off of your intelligence and your agility, just like previously. But you have 4 spells instead of only 1 spell like you did previously. Whenever you hit level 2000, you get your ultimate, which is really good. Anyway, so you've now reached Tier 3 as a human. Yeah, this is as far as I'm gonna take it for the moment. If you guys have any questions on Tier 4 normal classes or Tier 3 normal classes, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. If you, like I said, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave comments in the comments section. Check out my website at www.tulsavideomagazine.com and let me know what you think there. It's going to have all of my videos on it. They've been really helpful with setting up my website and doing all that stuff for me. So big shout out to Tulsa Video Magazine. They're a great group. Again, if you have any other questions, let me know.